how glue works. Now, another big story on social media this week, the firing of Gina Carano, Cara Dune on The Mandalorian, a show I love. I know a show a lot of you love. Check it out.
Carano will not be returning to The Mandalorian or the Star Wars galaxy amid backlash from a social media post the actress shared. On Wednesday, the hashtag Fire Gina Carano was trending online following an Instagram post from the actor implying that being a Republican today is like being Jewish during the Holocaust.
Okay, now, they don't show you the post. I was going to load it up here in my broadcasting software, but I forgot because I'm killing it today. I did bring it up on my phone so I could read it to you. Now, the way they paint it is, and in a broad, general way, it's true. She implied that being a conservative today is like being a Jew during the Holocaust. Without context, that sounds awful, obviously, because 6 million Jews died. Here's what the post was. And the picture is a Jewish person being run down in black and white by people and presumably being caught and taken to a concentration camp or whatever. Jews were beaten in the streets, the post says, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? That's the full post in context. Her point is that you can be taught to hate someone for a specific reason. You can be taught to hate Jewish people because of their religious views. You can be taught to hate conservatives or Republicans or whatever because of their political views. And that brings me to, well, I'm going to finish this Gina Carano thing, and then I will get into my spiel about conformity of thought and how dangerous it is. But first, the rest of the video.
The post has since been deleted, but screenshots were widely shared by users on social media who called for her firing from the hit Disney Plus Star Wars show. A Lucasfilm spokesperson has since said in a statement, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. In addition, a UTA...
So how did she denigrate people based on their religious views? She wasn't denigrating Jewish people. It was actually a post, as far as you could tell she took an opinion, that was against rounding up Jews and having them killed. I know. It's crazy. That's a crazy position to hold, that you shouldn't round up people and have them killed for religious beliefs. So let that sink in for a minute. But that's basically what the post said. And let me finish this. I keep wanting to get into my spiel about conformity of thought. We need to finish the video first.
Agency spokesperson confirms that Carano has also been dropped as a client by her agency. This is not the first time Carano, who played former Rebel Alliance soldier Cara Dune on The Mandalorian, has faced social media backlash for her political comments. Last November, she issued certain controversial tweets, one in which she mocked mask wearing amid the novel coronavirus pandemic, and another in which she falsely suggested voter fraud occurred during the 2020 presidential election. For more details on the story, head to thr.com. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Neha Joy.
Okay. So that's the story with her. She's now got a big deal with Daily Wire, conservative publication. She's going to do movies for them and all that. That's not the point. Here's the point that I want to make about conformity of thought and how dangerous it is. This notion, especially become prevalent on social media with the rise of social media, that one, someone who doesn't agree with your political views is a bad person. Not only a bad person, but a dangerous person who deserves to have something happen to them. Whether it's by the government or some other entity, they deserve to have bad things happen to them because they don't agree with your political views. The second prong of that is anyone who does, and this is for a lot of people online, I'm not saying it's everybody, but for a lot of people online, if someone aligns with your political views, you tend to excuse everything else they do. No matter how actually awful it is, you excuse it because, well, they think right. They think correctly. They think like me politically. They hold my political views. Therefore, if they did something else that was bad and other people thought was bad, it's cool with me because the most important thing is they hold my views. And this is the point she was trying to make in her Instagram post. This this push by a lot of people online to force everyone into one level of thought. So we all kind of coalesce around the same ideas. We all believe the same things. And we hear a lot of talk about diversity in the workplace, racial, ethnic, sexual, gender-wise, whatever. We hear about how great diversity is. But I think the most important thing of all is diversity of thought. There has to be a wide range of thought. That's how we take these paths, hopefully, to better ways in the future. Can you imagine what life would be like if everyone thought the same? Not just the boring aspect, but the danger that comes into it is that it has to be enforced. The conformity of thought has to be enforced. And it's enforced right now by a small vocal group of people on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Mostly from what I could tell, Twitter and Instagram. This notion that, like I said, one, someone's a bad person if they don't agree with me, and two, if the person does agree with me, I'll excuse their bad behavior, that's crazy. That's crazy. Unless someone's advocating for, killing someone or violating someone's rights, people should be free to say whatever the fuck they want to say. I've made this point before with racists. Why do we want to shut up racists? Why wouldn't we want racists to say what they're going to say so we know who they are? If they own a business, we don't go to that business. Someone gets on TikTok and says, I hate black people, they stink and I don't want them dating my daughters, then we can shun that person. If they own a business, we shun that business. They face consequences. We don't have them shut down. We don't advocate for them being arrested or any of that. Let them say what they're going to say. Let them announce themselves to the world. I think these actually abhorrent things. The point of her Instagram post was, hey, maybe we shouldn't denigrate people just for their political views in much the same way we shouldn't denigrate people just for their religious views. Human beings are complex creatures, and just because someone voted for someone you didn't like or said something you didn't like or hold a position that you didn't like doesn't mean they're an evil person and you're a good person, and that's the way the world works. It's not. And this notion we all have to think the same and do the same and be the same and all believe the same things. No, that's awful. No good will come from that.